Hey there guys, how you going? So I've got the Next Gen 10 Mark II here. So this is an awesome kayak, and I've got the outriggers that go with it as well. So what we're going to do today is I've got the 32-pound trolling motor from Kayaks to Fish. So we're going to install that with the FPV 50 amp hour battery and the little controller. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so first things first, we have to figure out where we're going to put everything. So what I was kind of hoping was that I did wash this off, guys, but I must have missed some of the sand when I was washing it. We have to decide where this battery is going to go. So ideally, I was kind of hoping it would sit underneath the chair. I don't think it's going to work in the low position. I feel like I'll be sitting straight on top of the battery, which isn't ideal. So what I could do is possibly mount it on the high setting. That gives us plenty of room underneath there. Actually a lot more room than I thought. So that's one thing that we could do. Another thing we could do is put it in the front console. I don't think it'll fit in here. It's definitely not wide enough. We could put it in this front console, or we could run it straight through here and put the wiring through the actual kayak itself. But I feel like under the seat's probably the easiest way to do it. That took a little bit longer than expected, but I had to work out where I'm going to put the battery and the PWM, and also I had to do a little bit of modification just to make it all work. So normally if you have the seat in the high position, you'd be able to fit your battery straight underneath, but the problem that I was having is that this bar was sitting on top of here, so you can't open this while you're sitting on the actual chair itself. So what I've done is I've just got a little bit of pull noodle. You can probably see a little bit better from that side. What I've done is I've got a little bit of pull noodle, given a slit. I've fit it over the end of the chair and just duct tape it in. This is going to be a temporary fix, so I'm eventually going to do something properly. I'll probably use the low seat setting, so that way it can sit, just move it to the spot, so that way it can sit down properly like that. Temporarily I'll have it in this upright position. So next what we're going to do is we've got the FPV PWM here, so I want to mount it right here, which also the other reason why I needed this to sit up is because it would crimp the wires. So what I want to do is I want to find a spot like that. That's pretty much how I want to have it. If you turn it over, you can see these 4 points, and pretty much what I've done is I've just copied it onto a piece of cardboard. I've got my 4 spots. I'll transfer that onto the center console pod, and then we can screw it straight into it. Okay, so we've got our bit of cardboard here, our template. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure it's as even as possible. We'll start our first hole. This would be a pilot hole, just got a small drill bit. Just make sure that's in the drill setting. Try and make sure it doesn't move around on you too much. Alright. Now we just get a slightly larger drill bit. Now if you found that it's slipped a little bit, what you can do is you can just angle in the drill bit, try and widen out that hole. That might only be a matter of a couple of mil. So the screws that we're using are just these little timber hex screws. They'll be fine for what we're using them for, so they're just 12 gauge, which I found was about the right size for this hole here. So that fits in quite well. So now we've flipped it over, we can see we've got this reinforcement, so I've just got the tin snips here. And we'll just cut a big enough space for the head of the bolt. So we'll cut those. snips again, we'll just cut these off. So it's a little rough. I want to make sure I can get out on the water tomorrow, so I'm doing this a little quicker than I wanted. So I can tidy up later, but I've just tidied up the corners a little bit, just to make them a little bit less sharp. I just got to deburr it, so all this plastic that I've grinded off, just got to take that off. But we should be able to put the head of the bolt should sit nicely in there. Okay, so what we're doing next is I've got these screws. Pretty much all we want to do is line up the PWM with the center console, so I'll just poke out one, just far enough. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then we're going to line it up and we'll screw on the first one. Perfect. So the screws that I'm using, they've got this little rubber gasket on it, which will help it just sit a little bit more flush when it goes into that groove, because I haven't got them all the way down, but that's pretty close. So we get our next screw. Okay, so in this case, it's creeped over when I've gone to drill the holes. So what I'm going to do, very carefully, you could take it off those two, but just be very careful. I'm just going to angle this downwards. Same with this side, I know it's going to be the same. And we should be able to get our screws in nice and easy. So there we go. I've actually shifted it over a little bit this way, as you can tell. So I don't really use the inches marking. What I do use is the centimeters marking, so that actually works out quite well. Okay, so now we got the FPV PWM all sorted, that's stuck on there. Grab this battery, and we want to find a place for this one. So I am right-handed, but I'd feel a lot more comfortable with the motor on my left hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm pretty much just going to follow off what they've got. So they've got the battery, which connects to these two. So that's perfect. And then I've got my motor on this side. So I actually want my motor on the left-hand side, so that's no problem. If you want it on your right-hand side, just redirect it this way and hook up your motor on that side. Okay, so a quick disclaimer. This is when I absolutely lost it. I got to the point where I installed the mount, got it all together, working absolutely perfect, and then I go to put the motor on it, and
I don't know if it's not designed for the weight, but as you can see here, it just stripped all the teeth and just bent straight over.
Okay, that's really annoying. So I don't know if you guys saw, I put the motor up on here. I went to go tilt it, thinking that everything was all good. Maybe it was my fault, I don't know. But pretty much what it's done, grab the other one. So it's actually just stripped all the bottom teeth out. That's where all the contact was, because this is on an angle. So you're not gonna get full contact, which I'm 100% sure that's how it should be. But there's no way you can do it. This is a bad design. I don't know if it's my fault, I don't know if it's just a dodgy design, but what I am saying is just be very wary. So what I am going to do, which I'm trying to do this, it's dark now, very annoying. So what I am going to do is I've got my outrigger pole here. This is connected straight into here, so it's not going to go anywhere. So what I've done is I've just got a bolt, nice long bolt with a nut at the end. Preferably I'd use a nylock, or a double nut, but this is pretty much just what I've been able to find in the shed here. So I've got 3 nuts here, so just a little bit of a spacer, just to make it a little bit easier when I put my outrigger in. So I have a little bit of visibility, keeps it at least a little bit up, because the other one was sitting up quite high. So it was sitting up, you know, an extra couple of inches. So this is really frustrating. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this one apart. I'm going to put in the bolt, just the bolt, get rid of these spacers. That way I can make sure this hole is lined up. I can drill that hole. Everything should hopefully work. Look, fingers crossed. Okay, so that's a lot more sturdy. That's not going anywhere. Now what I just need to do is to be able to fix this pole, which I'm hoping I can just put a screw straight into here. That'll keep it from moving, and just be 1,000 times better than what I did have. Okay, so now we just got I think it's a 14 gauge or 12, I think it's a 14 gauge screw. I've just got a couple of nuts of spacers. We're going to do the same as what we're going to do for this. So we're just going to screw it straight on. No more hassles. It's holding, so that's the main thing. That's going to stop any twisting or anything like that. We just needed a hold, that's it. We'll do the same to the other side. There we go, it's not going anywhere. So what we've done is we've got this bolted straight into this pole here. So 2 big bolts with spacers, nuts are nice and tight. Then we had a hole through here, which is where we connect the outrigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the outrigger straight through, and what I have been doing is just getting a bit of duct tape going around it. It's going to stick out a little bit further, but to be honest, that's just going to give you extra support, extra balance, so it's not really an issue. And it's probably maybe that much that it sits in by, so I'm not too worried about that. It's quite strong, so that'll be fine. So that was a bit of a bug around. So what we're going to do now is finally put our motor on this mount. Hopefully it doesn't have the same problem as last time, which I don't think it will. Okay, so we've got our motor there. We've got it centered like last time. What we're going to do is just tighten it down. Just making sure that it's sitting down as much as it can too. Just going to do it as hand tight. You don't have to use a tool or anything. So this mount is actually really good from what I can see so far. Okay, so moment of truth. Get these out of the way. Put our tiller how it's meant to be. Hopefully I should be able to reach that. If not, I might just get something. If I can't reach this, which I should be able to because you usually reach back a little bit, you can just get a bit of PVC pipe and touch it, and then just then you can reach it a little bit further. You can work it out how you like it. Okay, so the moment of truth, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this, I'm going to drop the motor, lift the motor, and lock it, and see, it's not going to flip back like it did the other one. Making a few sounds. We've got a little bit of flex in it. That's not too bad. It'd probably be better if it was weighted a little bit better. So maybe the motor could come a little bit further this way, but let's have a look at our heighting. So let's look at the height of it. So that is sitting a little bit lower than what I'd like it. I think you're meant to have your motor maybe sitting around about here, so it's just under the water. So we'll just adjust that. So all you've got to do is lift it up. There's this little collar here. They're forever in the way. There's this little collar here. All you want to do is just drop it down to the height that you want. So I think that height looks alright. And there you go. So that looks pretty cool. It's sitting a touch under the deck, so I'll show you that. So it's just a touch underneath. So usually the water sits up about there, maybe a little bit higher, and that'll be perfect. I can adjust it as you go because it's just a hand tighten there, nice and easy. So we've got this one here too, so we'll probably just tighten this one up. Imagine that just stops it from lifting up itself. So that's pretty cool. So we'll just try this one more time now that we lifted it up. Might be a little bit better weighted. So I'll pull the handle, lift it up. And it's twisting a little bit, but not nearly. It's not going to break like the last one. So this is a much better way of doing it. Okay, so I have skipped forward just a little bit. So what I've done is I've just crimped these two cable connections from the motor to the PWM, and then the battery's on charge at the moment. I've given it a test and it works. Thank God for that. So this is quite easy to do. Pretty much all you've got to do is strip the cable a little bit. You put on the metal sleeve terminal, and then you crimp it, and then you gotta make sure that you put these on first, and then you slide this end on, then pull this bit up and just tighten it up. It's like a nut, keeps it watertight. Absolutely awesome. That's done. I've just installed this little battery strap. So this is just a rubber strap I got from Bunnings. Had a whole bunch left over from the ute. So what I've done is I've just screwed them straight down. It being rubber and having a fair amount of tension on it, it's not going to come up. It should also keep it pretty much water resistant or watertight, or so that would be good too. So this strap's not going to be under a lot of strain. It's really just to slide it under there, keep it sitting there. I might put like a little bit of foam or something underneath, just to keep it up off the actual kayak itself. Okay, so I've run out of battery on my GoPro, so what we're going to do is install the prop. I'm going to use my phone. I've got one hand, so this will be interesting. So I've got the pin here. I'm just going to put that straight through. You want to make sure it's as even as possible. Then we've got the prop. This is going to sit. You can kind of see it's got these indents, so that's where the little pin sits. So what we want to do is just spin it until it grabs. If you want to check, you can spin it like to a different position, pull it up. You can see that it's grabbed it. That's perfect. So grab it again. So we've got our washers. We're going to put them on top. Bear with me, guys. This is fun to do with one hand. And then all we got to do is put on this nylock nut, and then we just got to tighten that one up. So I'll tighten it up and then I'll show you afterwards. Okay, so that's nice and tight, it's not coming off, and it can still move freely, so that's good. You don't want to see it loose enough that you can lift it out, because then it's just going to not engage that pin and it won't spin. So that's the motor installed, the PMW, the battery's on charge, but we've got a strap for that, so that's perfect. And our bought yet DIY mount, which seems to be better than the bought one. Well, I've got to say, guys, it's a little disappointing. Kayak to fish. I'm not sure what you guys are thinking with that mount. It's not the greatest. I might have done something wrong, I don't know. But to be honest, it shouldn't be like that. If you have them on an angle coming out of the rod holders, it's not going to support the weight. These are very heavy. Now, that mount came with this motor, so it should be rated to this motor. This is heavy, so you know that's probably why it buckled and twisted, and yeah. But this seems to be a better way to go, a DIY version. Everybody suggested to stay away from that that I've talked to, so I should have listened to them. I think it only cost an extra $50. Wish I ended up just getting a 2x4 and bolting it straight to it. Would have been a lot easier, would have saved a lot of time, but it's all ready, it's ready to go. I can put it on the ute tomorrow morning and go for a fish, so I'm pretty keen for that. And hopefully the motor mount is pretty good for tomorrow. I'll show you guys anyways. So I'll hopefully post this one tonight, and then I'll post the actually using the motor either tomorrow or midweek, just depends how much time I've got tomorrow. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I very much appreciate it. It's been a long video, been a very stressful video too, so don't let this put you off from doing it. I'm sure this motor is going to be absolutely awesome. I don't have any issues yet with it, so you know, let's actually test it and see how it goes. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I know I always say it, but it definitely helps. We've got 400 subscribers now. Absolutely awesome to see that many subscribers, guys. I appreciate it that you've clicked that button, you tune into the videos. Now, I will promise to try and put out a lot more videos. I've had a little bit of a hiatus, month and a half of not putting out videos. So I am going to try and put out a lot more videos, a little bit more regular. So we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed, everything should go fine. COVID kind of chucked a little bit of a spanner in the works, so yep. well anyways guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. So I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. I'll post the other video. But anyways, stay tuned to see how this motor goes.